Certainly the defense is saying no retrial. The prosecution is saying there can be a retrial. There was a breach of the fair trial right, which was the central issue of this case, and whether or not the court can order a retrial in the circumstances. Certainly for the defense, we would have presented affidavit evidence, which was a plethora of documents. As you can see, it went over into day 6, and even at the end of day 6, there were so many documents that the court was inundated with information that they now have to go through. I just wish to make clear that because of this, it is one of the reasons why the court now has to go through the information and have a written judgment, because this is a high public interest matter, and so the explanations coming from the court will be of great value. Certainly, in terms of the progress of the case, the client is anxious. There's not much you can tell a man who wants to get out of jail as to why is it being delayed or anything like that. It is a continuing breach, and that, as I said, that's certainly where it is. And so I have no comforting words for my clients, save and to say that the court has now made it clear that they're mindful of Mr. Palmer's illness, they're mindful of the length, and that certainly they have given a time, as in the maximum time that they will be able to write the judgment and be able to hand it down. That my response is always God on time. This case is finished. From the defense bar, fresh justice is something that a concept that we ought to be looking at, in terms of trying to ensure that persons who are put before the court for the very first time, that their matters don't fall into the position that the appellants are in this particular case. So in terms of pushback, the judge did make it clear that there will be some pushback for other cases to ensure that in light of Mr. Palmer's illness, that they get the judgment out at the fastest possible time. And the blame is now at the hands of the prosecution and the defense, because we inundated them with paperwork, which was my defense is it was necessary to do so.
Are you confident in what the ruling may be?
I'm always confident. Is God on time. I only speak positive to the universe.
Yes, my people. Once again, it's Rockstar 860 TV, and today we're just going to do the day 6, the final day of appeal hearings for Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, to see whether it be a retrial or a full acquittal. You know what I mean? So, day 6, we heard that the prosecution representing the DPP had their say of their final arguments, and the defense, who represents Vybz Kartel and his co-accused, Isaac Buchanan and John Clark, made their final arguments against what the prosecution has said in determining whether the judge should recall a retrial or a full acquittal. But in my opinion, being a layman, but listening to what the judge has been saying over the past 5 to 6 days, I don't think it's going to be a retrial. I don't believe that the prosecution has proven their case for retrial. I don't see that they've shown their favorite word, interest of justice. And let's see what interest of justice really means. Interest of justice refers to the assessment of different factors by a judge in coming to a fair decision when they have discretion to make a ruling in a particular situation. So what's fair in this situation? Ask yourself, what's interest of justice? What's fair? Clive Lizard Williams murder, allegedly? Or somebody's rights being violated for 13 years? Not 13 years being free and your rights are violated, but 13 years behind the bars, penitentiary, the iron gates, the nowhere to go road, the end, so to say. Now, I mean, what's interest of justice? Kartel and his co-accused don't get interest of justice in their favor? Or is it just one way? And that was the dumbest argument, I believe, from Claudette Thompson has been talking till now. Even Paula, the former DPP, loved using that word, interest of justice. Well, justice works on both sides. Justice is not a one-way street. You don't see the one way going one way. That's justice for one way. No, justice is a two-way street. up and down, balance, across, left to right, right to left, east to west, north to south. It's balanced. Justice is for both, not just the prosecution and their terminology. Interest of justice. That's foolishness. That's the dumbest thing she could ever argue in the 5 to 6 days. Interest of justice. Nobody cares, so to say. When you look, everybody thinks Kartel is guilty anyway. Oh, wow, that's justice? Or some will say, oh, Kartel is innocent. Is that fair to the prosecution? Is that justice? Where's the justice? For who? Which side? Who's getting justice? What's the interest? What's your interest? What's justice to you? What's justice to me? I heard a man say on a live that if it was him, he would want to go home, but since it's Kartel, let him battle it out in court. Is that justice? Since that justice we are talking about, you like my video yet? That justice we are talking about. You subscribe to my channel yet? That justice we are talking about. You share the video yet? Since that justice we are talking about. You comment yet? Let me know how you feel, how you are think, so we can have a conversation in the comment box. That's justice for my channel. So show some justice to me and do all those steps. You know what I mean? Help me grow my community. That's justice. But getting back to Kartel justice. The reason of case dismissal used when the judge decides that justice will be best served when the case is dismissed. That's interest of justice. And I believe Justice McDonald's will do just that and show interest of justice on both sides and dismiss this fool show, this rigmarole, this then the circus, I should say. Justice McDonald, do the right thing. The public knows what's the right thing. A man, a former police commissioner, came on to the public, and said Vybz Kartel and his gang was responsible for 100 murders. Well, over 100 murders. And to this day, 10 years later, 15 years later, we have not seen one charge, only a lizard. You know what I mean? That's all we have seen. But this man came on national TV in Jamaica and said this man, Vybz Kartel, and his gang was responsible for over 100 murders and haven't proven or brought a case yet, 10 years later. And this man is fighting for his freedom because of propaganda propagated by the government of Jamaica and the former police commissioner, Owen Ellington. And it's proven because he said it on national TV in Jamaica without any proof. And when he was asked the question, where's the charges? No charges was brought up 10 years later. But he's retired and Kartel is still in prison fighting for his freedom. That's sad. But that's justice for most of y'all. That's the justice you don't want to see. Foolishness. Fool's justice. Know what I mean? Fool's justice. Because justice foolishly doesn't do anything overall for anybody. It's just foolish. Know what I mean? And this man told us in 2011 on many programs in the public. And we overlooked it, many of us. You, me, everybody. Because we see where he ended up now, 13 years later, fighting for his freedom. And this fool, DPP lawyer Claudette Thompson said they care about Vybz Kartel. How do you care about Vybz Kartel? What's so important about Vybz Kartel, like Judge Thompson asks, that you have to have this man in prison unfairly and trying to tell the court you fear? We're not blind and we're not dumb. So we're just going to wait on the decision, which should be handed down before July 31st, anywhere from now to July 31st. So, what's that, 6 weeks? Everybody said Kartel hold out for the next 6 weeks, Freedom Road. But if it was you, 6 weeks coming like 6 years, we free, he's behind the bars. It's a different feeling, a different motivation, a different struggle. 6 weeks free to we is partying, running up and down in the summertime in the sun, having fun. 6 weeks to him is behind the bars, saying we're languishing, hoping. You know what I mean? He's hoping we're having fun. And that's the facts, the reality. That's life. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it might say, delay all you want, the outcome will be the same, freedom. But that's just a talk. In reality, he's still behind the bars, waiting, open, languishing. You know what I mean? And we hope justice, in the interest of all, is acquittal. Because the show is over. The show is done. It's the finale. Finally. You know what I mean? What's the difference between finale and finally when two of them are final night? You dig? Think about that. Finale, final. Finale, final. Finally, he will be freed. I'm out. Yeah.